Hey everybody. So today's topic is going to be proper, improper, and mixed fractions. So basically there are three kinds of fractions. There are ones where the number on top, which is called the numerator, is smaller than the number on the bottom, which is called the denominator. So in that first fraction that we see there, the 4/9, the number on top is smaller than the number on the bottom. So that's one type of fraction. The one beside it, 15/9, our numerator, so the number on top, is bigger than our denominator, the number on the bottom. And then the last example we have a whole number with a fraction, so 1 2/9. And that is going to be basically two things happening. So there's just a whole number, and then there's a number where the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Okay, so those are the three types of fractions, and I see those as shapes. So for example, this 4/9, I see that because the top is smaller than the bottom, I see it as a triangle. The one beside it is sort of like an upside down triangle because the number on top is bigger than the number on the bottom. And the last one is sort of two different shapes happening. There's a whole number, and then there's a fraction where, once again, the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Okay, so each of these has a name. So the 4/9 is called a proper fraction. The top is smaller than the bottom. The second one here is called an improper fraction because the number on top is bigger. And then the last one is called a mixed because it has both a whole number and a fraction. So there's kinds of two things going on there. All right, so let's say, for example, we were given this image here. All right, so our first task is going to be to split it into equal parts. So as we can see, splitting this first circle into fourths would make a whole lot of sense. Okay, so then we would have to do the same with the two other images. Okay, so we've split it into fourths, although they're not very straight lines. You get the idea. So fourths, this is split into 4 parts, and this is split into 4 parts. Okay, this first circle has 4 of 4 shaded in. The second circle is the same, and then this last one has 3 of 4 shaded in. So because that top number is how many pieces, we can clearly see that the number of pieces is always going to be more than 4. So then that top number of the fraction will always be bigger than the bottom number. So I would not be able to write this image as a proper fraction. Now, as an improper fraction, we just would total all the pieces. So we would have 4 and 4 is 8, and another 3 is 11. Okay, so that's going to be 11 fourths. Okay, so would be how I would write it as an improper fraction. And as a mixed fraction, I can clearly see that there are 2 completed circles. So that's a 2 there, 2 completed circles, and then that third circle is 3 of 4 pieces. So that would be my mixed fraction, 2 and 3/4. All right, this next image here, we just have the one image. So once again, my first task is going to be to split it into equal parts. So assuming those are equal, I can look here and I say, okay, because there aren't any pieces that are completely filled in, okay, they're not an images like in the last one where there's all shaded in, I will not be able to write it as an improper fraction. The number of pieces will never be more than 4. And I won't be able to write it as a mixed because there aren't any whole complete images in this picture. So the only way I can write it is as a proper fraction. So I've split a shape into 4 equal parts, and one of those 4 are shaded in. In this last image, I have, once again, my first task is going to be to split it into equal parts. So I am going to split it into diamonds. So 3 each. Okay, so we can see that there's 3 diamonds there. So I'm going to put a 3 on the bottom here and a 3 on the bottom here. And in this first image, 3 of 3 parts are shaded in. And in the second image, 2 of 3 parts are shaded in. So I clearly am going to be able to write this as a mixed fraction because I have 1 completely shaded in. And then on the second image, whoops, my 2 there is kind of crazy. On my second image, 2 thirds. My mouse is glitching out here. Okay, so I have 1 and 2 thirds as my mixed fraction. Okay, my improper is going to be how many pieces do I have in total. So in that first image, I'm going to have 3 and then 2 more. So for every whole shaded in, I'm going to have 3 pieces in this particular scenario. So that's a total of, 5 thirds. Okay, and that would be my improper fraction. Now I would not be able to write this as a proper fraction because the number of pieces on top will always be bigger than 3. Beautiful. So that is the information that you need to go into the Google Slides. There will be a second video describing each slide to you, and otherwise, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, bye for now.